I'm Nicole Guevara from AmLit, and I summarize Alvar Nunez de Vaca's Our Lives Among the Avavares and Arbaderos. So the Indians in their region were all ignorant. They just understand season in terms of ripening of fruits, dying of fishes, and through the position of stars. The Avavares treated them well. They live on their own, but they live like the Alvares, so they even went naked like them and covered themselves with deer skin at night. They also suffered hunger in their 8 months of staying there, and at the end of the 8 months, he traveled with the Negro without telling the host of that village and tell some natives that he will just go to the nearby town, the Maliacones. But after 3 days, he sent Estevanico to fetch Castillo and Dorantes. They told the Maliacones that they come for the Arbadeo and they wanted to stop with them. So the Maliacones led them to the Arbadeo houses. So the Arbadeo stopped for a while. So when they came back, four of them took each of them by hand and looked them to the dwellings. Fierce hunger then among the Avavares. They only ate 2 handful of ears each day, and because they lack of water, eating brought them great thirst. So they really suffer in their stay with the Arbadeos. They shed their skin twice a year. They had painful sores on their chest and shoulders, and their heavy loads caused the cords to cut their arms. You just only think of the sufferings of Jesus Christ and the blood he shed for all of us in above to survive this work. So he bartered with these Indians those things he did like bombs, arrows and bows and nets. The Indians know how to make this, but they are pretty much busy with food hunting. He would also scrape thoroughly through this to sustain himself 2 or 3 days on the scrap. With those people left behind, gave them a piece of meat. They ate it raw because they can digest it more easily when it's raw. He also stated the culture of the Indians, like the custom of not sleeping with their wives from the time they are discovered pregnant to 2 years after giving birth, and the children are suckled until they are 12 when they are old enough to find their own support. Anyone who chances to fall sick on to foraging trip and keep up with the rest of is left to die unless he is a brother or a son. It is also common to leave their wives and directly reconnect with whomever they please. This is the course of a men who are childless. When it comes to arguments, they fist fight until exhausted, then separate. Sometimes women will go in between and part them, but men do not interfere. After the fight, the disputants take their houses and go live apart from each other until they have cooled off. Then they return, and from that moment are friends as if nothing happened. Hello, so I answered the question number 3 in the owl. The question is, what persons or groups does the word identify as others or strangers? And how are such persons or groups described and treated? So, my answer is, on Albert Nunez Cabezas de Vaca's life among the Avavares or Arbadeos, his group was considered the strangers or others. It is because they are the ones who need to adjust or adapt the lifestyle and culture of the natives to be friends or to get their feelings. They are treated the same way the other people in that village were. They have to dress up like them, live where the natives live, do the things what they do, like hunting. If the people in that village don't eat, they do not also eat. So they are not treated as visitors, and they have to work hard as much as people in that village work. Okay, that's all. Bye.